Welcome to Have You Read It, the channel where we bring books to life, one summary at a time. Whether you're here for self-help, personal growth, or business inspiration, there's something for everyone. Today, we're exploring Brené Brown's Dare to Lead, a playbook for courageous leadership. Brown combines 2 decades of research with her experiences in hundreds of organizations to offer actionable strategies for navigating tough conversations, building trust, and leading with vulnerability. Brown emphasizes that daring leadership and courageous cultures are essential in today's complex and rapidly changing world. Her research identified a common theme amongst senior leaders: the need for braver leaders and more courageous cultures. Leaders struggled to identify the specific skills that underpin brave leadership, but easily pointed to problematic behaviors and cultural issues that erode both trust and courage. Let's talk about those roadblocks to daring leadership. Brown outlines 10 common issues plaguing organizations worldwide: avoiding tough conversations, spending too much time managing problematic behaviors instead of addressing the root causes, diminishing trust caused by a lack of connection and empathy, insufficient risk-taking and idea-sharing due to fear of ridicule or failure, getting stuck in setbacks rather than learning from them, excessive shame and blame instead of accountability, avoiding diversity and inclusivity conversations for fear of being wrong, rushing into ineffective solutions, vague organizational values, and perfectionism and fear hindering growth. These issues are deeply human and applicable beyond organizational contexts. They show up in our personal lives as well. Brown highlights that these are all learned behaviors. A critical takeaway from her research is that these behaviors are not hardwired and thus can be changed. This is promising, as it suggests we have the agency to learn and cultivate braver leadership skills. The foundation of Brown's book rests on 3 core ideas. First, courage requires vulnerability. To be daring is to acknowledge that we will inevitably fail, and we're still all in. Second, vulnerability is not weakness, but rather the courage to show up even when we can't control the outcome. It's about being in the arena, getting our hands dirty, and risking failure. Third, she sets a powerful boundary. Unsolicited feedback from those who aren't willing to be vulnerable themselves holds little value. Daring leaders seek feedback from those they trust, their square squad, those who love them not just despite their imperfections, but because of them. The concept of vulnerability is further explored by addressing common misconceptions. Brown busts 6 myths. Vulnerability is weakness. It's actually courage. I don't do vulnerability. We all experience vulnerability in our daily lives. We can either be intentional about it, or it will do us. I can go it alone. We're wired for connection. We can engineer the uncertainty out of vulnerability. We can't. It's the uncertainty and risk that defines it. Trust comes before vulnerability. Trust and vulnerability grow together. Vulnerability is disclosure. It's not indiscriminate sharing, but rather about showing up and engaging. Brown clarifies that vulnerability is not about oversharing, but about setting boundaries and having clear intentions. She emphasizes the importance of separating systemic vulnerability from relational vulnerability. The book shares a personal story from Brown about her struggles with setting realistic timelines and how fear and scarcity drive unrealistic expectations. She shares how owning her story and having an honest conversation with her team, rooted in vulnerability and curiosity, led to meaningful change and a stronger connection. Key takeaways from this experience include the importance of clear communication, sharing a common understanding of all moving pieces, and rumbling with vulnerability to create gritty faith and gritty facts. She also introduces important rumble tools. Clear is kind, unclear is unkind. Say more, and permission slips. This reinforces the importance of vulnerability and self-awareness in leadership. The heart of daring leadership involves embracing our whole selves, integrating our emotions with our work, and acknowledging the role of the heart in our leadership. Brown contrasts this with the traditional approach of separating emotions from work, which she argues kills courage. The vulnerability armory is introduced, listing 16 common forms of self-protection: perfectionism, foreboding joy, numbing, victim or Viking mentality, being a knower, cynicism, criticism, power over, hustling for worth, compliance and control, rewarding exhaustion, tolerating discrimination, collecting gold stars, zigzagging, and leading from hurt. For each of these, she provides a daring leadership response, focusing on healthy striving, gratitude, setting boundaries, integration, learning, clarity, contribution, power with, knowing your value, commitment, acknowledging fear, rest, belonging, giving gold stars, talking straight, and leading from heart. Brown discusses how shame affects our lives, especially in leadership roles. She distinguishes between shame, guilt, humiliation, and embarrassment, emphasizing that shame is about "I am bad," while guilt is about "I did something bad." She discusses how shame manifests at work, highlighting behaviors like perfectionism, favoritism, gossiping, and cover-ups. Brown provides strategies for cultivating shame resilience, which includes recognizing shame triggers, practicing critical awareness, reaching out, and speaking shame. This segment provides a clear framework for understanding and addressing shame in ourselves and our organizations. Brown emphasizes the importance of empathy in daring leadership. She provides 5 key skills of empathy: seeing the world as others see it, being non-judgmental, understanding another person's feelings, communicating your understanding of those feelings, and mindfulness. She also describes 6 common empathy misses: sympathy, gasp and awe, the mighty fall, block and tackle, boots and shovel, and one-upping. Brown explains that empathy is not about fixing, but connecting, and the most powerful words for someone struggling are "me too." This section offers practical guidance on practicing empathy and avoiding common pitfalls. Brown explores the concept of grounded confidence as a necessary element of daring leadership. Grounded confidence is built on self-awareness and practice. She provides specific rumble starters and questions rooted in curiosity. She discusses how curiosity fosters grounded confidence and the importance of desirable difficulty in learning. The idea that effective learning involves discomfort. This segment encourages a growth mindset and provides actionable steps for developing grounded confidence. Brown introduces the concept of living into our values, stressing that we only have one set of values and that we don't shift them based on context. She offers a process for identifying and operationalizing values. It's not enough to simply list values. We must translate them into behaviors. She emphasizes choosing courage over comfort and the importance of having an integrity partner or someone who will help keep us accountable. This segment encourages self-reflection and aligning actions with core beliefs. The book discusses braving trust, providing the braving inventory as a rumble tool for navigating trust conversations. Braving stands for boundaries, reliability, accountability, vault, integrity, non-judgment, and generosity. Brown unpacks each element, offering specific examples of how these behaviors build or break trust. This inventory provides a concrete framework for assessing and improving trust in our relationships and teams. Brown addresses the importance of learning to rise, providing a 3-step process: the reckoning, the rumble, and the revolution. The reckoning is about recognizing when we're emotionally hooked. The rumble is about getting curious about our stories and challenging our assumptions. And the revolution is about integrating our learnings and rewriting our narratives. The book offers practical strategies like box breathing and the story I'm making up. This segment helps us process emotions, understand our stories, and rise from setbacks with greater wisdom. Throughout the book, Brown intertwines research findings, personal anecdotes, and case studies from leaders in diverse fields to offer relatable examples and practical advice. She highlights the importance of choosing courage over comfort, embracing vulnerability, and leading with our whole hearts. She also stresses the universality of these struggles, reminding us that we are all human, and we are all doing the best we can. To summarize, the main takeaway from Dare to Lead is that daring leadership is not about being fearless. It's about developing the courage to rumble with vulnerability, live into our values, brave trust, and learn to rise. Here are some easy-to-remember heuristics. Clear is kind. Unclear is unkind. Choose courage over comfort. The story I'm making up. What's my part? Braving, strong back, soft front, wild heart. Thanks for watching. Have you read it? Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button so you never miss our next book exploration.